Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza, and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Tuesday, November 10th. And also greetings from Istanbul. I'm a little disappointed. I'm leaving early this morning, and I'm disappointed that I'm going to miss something today. And that is, in Turkey, they take a moment to remember a gentleman who's referred to as Ataturk. And he's like the George Washington of Turkey. If you think as George Washington's the father of the United States, well, Ataturk was to this country. After World War I, actually, he signed a treaty in 1923 that basically ended the Ottoman Empire, but it started the Turkish Republic, and that's when it was born. And what I find interesting about it is what this fellow accomplished in such a short period of time. I mean, I can't think of many people in history that have had this much of an impact on a country in less than 10 years. Listen to this. In less than 10 years, he aligned Turkey with the West, separated religion and state, adopted the Western calendar, decreed that Turks should have surnames similar to the Western custom, changed the alphabet from Arabic script to Roman letters. Boy, that's a biggie, right there. And also emancipated women long before a lot of other countries did. Well, on November 10th, 1938, at 9:05 a.m., he died. So every year, all of Turkey takes a moment to observe a moment of observance at 9:05. And I wish I could be here for that, but I'll be on a plane. Now, let's take a look at these indices. I guess that's what we should be talking about, but I just wanted to share that with you because I just find it very interesting. And, well, let's get down to the stock indices. What have we seen? We have seen some follow through. And I know you've heard me talking about this whole issue all the way up here. I really feel it has been a buy. And the big deal for the NASDAQ, for example, we are looking for unchanged to higher across the board. We're not looking for big days, but by the end of the week, it's not so much today in my perspective. It's what it does over the next couple days, and we need to see a close above 1780 if we're going to get some follow through there in these indices. Also, when it comes to the currencies, we see the dollar weakness across the board, and we see the euro gave us that nice push to the upside. It's got a lot of work to do. It's not done yet either. We're not looking for bigger moves in these currencies. They had a pretty good size move today, and typically after that we have a tendency to stop and take a breath. So I don't think today's action is going to be so critical. It's what it does on Wednesday. And even though it's somewhat of a holiday, Wednesday and Thursday are going to be important, I think, in terms of how this market sets up. So across the board, we're looking for continued weakness in the dollar, and we're looking for strength in these currencies. Mr. Yen, we wouldn't be surprised to see that back off a little bit, which is right over here. And let's take a look at those interest rates. The short end, whoops, that's not the interest rates. Let's take a look at those. And the short end of the curve, well, it continues up here. It's very quiet right now. But there's nothing telling us to abandon ship if we were long. The 10-year notes also, it's a market I think we need to be very cautious of. It's at critical levels. If we're going to get follow through, it needs to close above 119. I think the bonds are also struggling down here. It needs an excuse is what it comes down to. Again, as we talked about, they're at levels we found buyers before. We just need to see a commitment, and so far we haven't seen that in that market. If we look at the metals markets, we see gold continuing its march to the upside. The issue for me is the way it's doing it. We saw selling coming in here before, and we're seeing it right now. Historic highs. So I just think that we want to tighten things up. We want to be cautious about this move. We have to respect that selling. And what does that imply? It implies weakness. So for today's action, I'd be cautious about gold and very cautious about silver. I think there's a possibility those could back off. Copper are probably going to bounce back and forth here in a sideways market. Don't see any real clean opportunity in that market. Now, energy. Gold, reached a magnitude objective to the downside. It reached a magnitude objective to the upside. And right now, the sell point here in that market, we can see that's been tightened up a little bit. Natural gas continues its move to the downside. And again, as we talked about that rhythm, we've gotten low enough to find buyers. The issue is, can they follow through? And so far, we really haven't seen that kind of action where they've done that. And in the grains, well, we're finding buyers at lower prices. This bean setup is very bullish in terms of its action. We're looking for unchanged to higher across the board in the corn and in the wheat. Wheat's reached also magnitude objective today. And so what we're looking for, yesterday I should say, what we're looking for in today's action is we want to see a close above 530. We're not looking for a huge range, maybe a 10-cent range or so, 10, 15 cents, but we need to see it positive. If we're going to get this follow through, the next 2 days are critical for wheat. Well, this concludes today's market studies. I hope you found a few ideas helpful. I'm looking forward to being with you again tomorrow, and in the meantime, take care.